It's going down, the rhythm projects round. The next sound reflects a complex hybrid dialect now. Detect the mesh of many elements compressed down. The melting pot of a super futuresque sound. The combination of a vocal caress with lungs that gasp for breath from emotional stress with special effects. In a distorted collage, carefully lodged between beats of a rhythmic barrage. It's going down, a logical progression on the timeline.
All right, everybody, what's going on? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE, joined by kind of a smaller crew than normal, but we have Mr. Dr. Sheep.
Hey.
Mr. Doctor, look at me. And good old Ewok. What's up, Ewok?
Hello, Keyforge community.
All right, so we have some information about Josh. What? Explain to me the picture, because you guys wanted to talk about Josh's picture. I guess I don't understand.
Well, okay, so it looks like the FFG OP team and those involved with Keyforge finally remembered the password, because there's actually been some vaguely Keyforge related stuff. So that's exciting.
So the only thing I saw was the picture of Josh and which is the evil twin.
Yeah, so he posted, apparently he decided to shave, so he did one of those things where he took a bunch of pictures of himself shaving and asked which one of his pictures was the evil twin. My awful sarcasm said that's what a year's worth of work delivers.
I was going to say, trick question, they're all evil.
Ooh! We're working on our hate this week.
Yeah, we've been far too nice lately. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with us, but we have been in some sort of good mood.
Well, that's because there's been, cards that we got to look
New
at.
sets always bring good moods to Archon's corner. That's true.
Because Dark Tidings is making it to Canada.
Maybe.
And to other places.
They have it.
Oh, they have it?
In Canada, they're opening decks.
They are opening it.
Has this been confirmed?
Yeah, we can see it. We have Archon's Corner members who are holding Dark Tidings boxes.
How far up your own butt is your head?
No, I'm just saying, like I told them yesterday, there are also people who swear to God they've seen Sasquatch. That doesn't make it exist.
Well, there are pictures, so it's happened.
Okay, so pictures. Well, there are also pictures. Never mind.
There's a really good Discord channel if you haven't checked it out, Archon's listeners. It's called Archon's Corner, and we have people who post there.
Yeah, we do, and they are posting up. I saw a picture, just one, but I haven't been. I've been floating between work stuff and other things, so it's been a good time. So, what do we got going on with the KFPL, Dan?
Well, no, we still got two other OP posts.
Oh, holy! They went on a spree this week.
That's what I'm saying. So they posted a picture of a houseboat that looks kind of Keyforge-y, and it says, "Join the crew of the SLRS Vortexalon to take down the Keyraken." And they're going to do another one of their watch OP play things where they're going to put up pictures, I think.
Watch OP play incorrectly.
Yes, right. That's part of the game is correct OP's plays, incorrect plays, right?
That's right.
But they're going to play versus Keyforge Adventures versus the Keyraken with who knows what decks, and they'll post some pictures so we can see what's going on. So, some Keyraken spoilers. That should be fun. This was posted on the 14th, and nothing since.
We do have the Which is Cuter.
That's right, Which is Cuter, and we got a Fuzzy Gruen
and the cat.
Bloom. I immediately said, "Where's Toad?"
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Toad. But Keyforge Adventures, is that their RPG?
Oh boy!
Oh my goodness!
I'm asking because
Keyforge Adventures is their new play your Keyforge decks against.
That's not the name of it.
Yeah, Keyforge Adventures.
That's legit the name of it?
Yeah.
Oh. I just thought that was a thing.
No, that's the series of products they're going to release where you play your decks against, when co-op against the deck.
I just thought that was a fun little thing they were saying. I didn't know that was going to be the actual name of the product. I don't like the name.
I suppose it could, but they did do one of them hashtag things, Keyforge Adventures.
Alrighty. Well, moving along here. Are we into spoiler town, or did we go through everything already?
Oh boy, KFPL. The 24th
We're all over the place.
Is Dismiss the Dis, which is the next $10 entry Keyforge Premier League related feeder event. So top placement there will qualify. Whatever. We don't have Z, so when it comes to the KFPL, we're going to sound uneducated. Some percentage of the money put in goes to prizes. The other bit goes to the KFPL Season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But this event is you got to bring 2 decks, and it's called Dismiss the Dis because you cannot bring any house dis. So you bring 2 decks and no dis, and cannot be 90 or higher. So 89 is the highest SAS rating you can play in this. And it is big news if you listened last week, is they did change it. It used to be that you couldn't play the same house twice, but they removed that because we're all like, okay, so we all have one good deck and one trash deck we're bringing. So we're all just going to play one deck. So yep, that doesn't really work. So they removed the house restriction. So now you can bring duplicate houses. So we can all bring 2 logo shit decks. But
I think this is interesting. I'll be honest. I like the challenge that was put forth. And so I had decks I had searched for. It was kind of interesting on that Keyforge side, looking a little more analytical. What can you play when you're house restricted? But at the same time, I have no problem with them switching because the idea is that we're dismissing dis. We're saying goodbye to it. And so as long as you're just playing without dis, it offers more options. And again, I'm fine with that.
I want to embrace dis. I want only decks with dis.
Yeah, so I did have that. Well, I was looking through decks that I own and are available to me to play, and dismissing dis, I said, this makes me sad. And then I went, oh no, Dark Tidings doesn't have any dis. No, skip that.
Yep. Now they have Unfathomable, which we'll be going through next week.
Yes, which is not dis.
Right. Well, I mean, they're dis-like.
No, they are not.
No.
They're dis.
Fish.
Well, okay, so they're not
they
demons.
Are a variety of sea creatures. Sorry.
A variety of sea critters. But their overall theme is kind of like, never mind. Let's just move into Untamed. Yeah. What do you guys say?
They're trying to go ahead and have a different aspect of this. I will say that we're going to save that for next week. I think that it is an interesting talk, but it's interesting, but Unfathomable will be next week.
And that's going to be a much longer episode since obviously every card in Unfathomable is new. No reprints, no nothing. I mean, it's all brand new stuff. So,
and Z wants to talk about
Unfathomable. But due to some scheduling restrictions, he's off doing KFPL stuff. So
he is casting KFPL Season 2 qualifier games. So these are the second versus third in groups playing for their spots in top 16. If you are, they're great games to watch to do that. And then actually Saturday night on Jupiter's Twitch, I will be casting with him of Pac versus Anxious Pirate. So you can come listen to more of my sage insight then.
All right.
Yeah, and there's just a ton of playing games. So good luck to everyone who made it into that second or third spots playing. It's contentious. So it'll be interesting to see where these games go. And I know Z will enjoy being back for next week.
Yeah. I'm wondering.
We do have go ahead.
I was just wondering who was streaming them because I'm looking for the streams and I didn't see anything posted. Normally, Z's sister posts something and she has not.
She has been.
I know she posted something, but it wasn't about where to find it, was it?
I don't know. You can always go to the KFPL channel, the KFPL Discord, and they have a whole channel of where to find all their casts.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always go there.
That's where I'm at. And they're not running. But either way, moving on.
They're not running because they're not probably recording quite yet.
Okay. Sounds good. Do we want to get into
Untamed? No, we're not ready for Untamed yet.
We're not ready. Okay, we have more news.
So ABR season 5. We're in 4. So season 5, registration is open. If you guys are looking to play the second best bunch of Keyforge on the internet after AC events, you should come play in the ABR event.
Hey, third. AC, KFPL, then ABR.
Well,
I'm just kidding. They're probably all equal.
Yeah, they're all great. But, I like to kid. But I really do enjoy the ABR. It's a great team event. You'll get drafted on a team, and you'll play all kinds of different formats over the course of 7 or 8 weeks. Fairly low entry cost at like $10. There are some prizes, but really just playing on the team, having the team chat, coming up with crazy decks to play is a ton of fun. Really one of the coolest leagues that's out there, and definitely worth checking out as long as you don't mind playing in roughly American time zones, because it's run by the ABR, which is the
Ancient Bear Republic, which is coming from the West
California,
Coast, California.
The California team. So roughly their time zones, but it is really fantastic. I think they're actually looking. I think there were 100 players in the current league, and they're looking to get to 120 for the next league. So there are spots. Come and join us. It is awesome Keyforge.
Maybe I will dip my toes. Dependent. It's 1 game a week, right?
One game a week. Can be best of 3 sometimes.
Yeah, best of 3 isn't all that crazy. But 1 game a week I might be able to manage. Today is my day off. And, I did interviews and hiring of security guards today. So, my day off. Still working. Fun stuff. What else we got, Dan?
It's tough being the boss.
It is tough work being a boss.
I'm now ready to talk about Untamed.
JR, are you ready to talk about Untamed?
I am. I just remind everyone to come check out our AC events that we have going on. So Sunday night is typically going to be your Archon, and Tuesday being sealed for leaderboard. You also have Thursday that is Archon. And then Wednesday, John Palm is also running through AC his sealed for Pink Bunny Games. So some great events that you can play online, and the community is amazing. I made it out on the last Tuesday. I think we had 17 people. So absolutely phenomenal. Bounced into small little side rooms. So just a big plug for that. So keep it up.
It's definitely worth playing in Lokar's event. He gives me nothing but hot fire. So I keep getting fantastic decks out of his sealeds. So he's got the good boxes. Go buy his stuff.
Yeah, clearly he has the good boxes. I bought 2 packs. The last 2 packs I could find of Mass Mutation in Wisconsin. I'm sure there are more, but last I could find.
Case worth I probably have.
The last 2 decks I could find. I didn't go into your home and rummage through your things.
You didn't call the game store of sheep.
I didn't.
Who's always got the hookup.
We can talk about this later. However, what we are going to talk about right now is spoilers. So if you are not in Spoiler Town, we thank you again. As he would say, we thank you for listening, but it's time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So we're going to
just listen to us on mute.
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, let's be honest. The ad's already played. We got what we were looking for.
Yep.
So
our 0.3 of a penny is ours. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we bid it and put it in our pocket, and we're moving along. Right into the Emberfin Shark. What?
Yes. So Amberfin Shark is our first evil twin creature, 3 power, 0 armor beast. At the end of your turn, each player loses 1 amber. For each amber lost this way, give Amberfin Shark a +1 power counter.
Okay, so like the first half, your opponent loses 1 and he gets stronger. Awesome. I lose 1 and he gets stronger.
Yeah, it's each player. I mean, if you go ahead and are sitting at 0, maybe it's just an amber restriction for both. And I think 2 +1 counters for both you and your opponent losing 1 is not great. It's not even good.
I guess it depends on where you're sitting. You know what I mean? If my opponent's got 6,
sure, it's amber control in that.
But you know what I mean? Like they got to end their turn at 7, which then, I mean, I don't know. I'm not excited, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not upset, but I'm not really excited either.
It really has to do with your expected amber. If you are making so much bucket of ambers where your opponent doesn't, this could be a good card. But if your opponent is making more amber than you, this is probably a bad card.
But then we have the opposite.
Typical evil twin card, not very good.
We have the opposite of Emberfin Shark for the other way, which is he's 3 power, 0 armor beast again. One on the play, you give him 3+1 power counters. At the end of your turn, remove a +1 power counter from Emberfin Shark. If you do, each player gains 1.
So this one, I only dislike the timing. I'm not overly opposed to equal amber gain cards. They're not the greatest thing in the world. But the timing is terrible. At the end of my turn, so right before you want to forge, here, have an amber. Like, if this was at the start of my turn, I would definitely be okay with this card. As it is, yeah. I'm glad it's a rare, and I don't have to think about it much.
Yep.
Fair enough. I think that's fair.
I think it's interesting with some of the +1 power options. Those cards for me don't have any impact. They're very, very minor. So maybe you get a little something out of it. But again, in the rare spot, I'm not worried about it. We'll see how often it even shows up. But it's an amber generation.
I'm having microphone issues. Sorry, guys.
Shall we go into our next evil twin? So card 369, Chelonia, 2 power, 0 armor, beast witch with elusive, and it has a tide effect. After you play another creature, if the tide is high, your opponent loses 1. 1 amber, that is.
So reverse hunting witch while the tide is high.
I mean, there seems to be nothing bad about this card, right? Unless you want to steal and you keep burning up all their amber. But all in all, this seems pretty good. It's also lose, so it gets around all the steal effects that are out there. It's not capture. Like, lose effects are super strong because there's almost no way to prevent them. Actually, I don't think there's any way to prevent them.
Yeah, I don't know of any way to prevent them. What's interesting is I see repeatability here. If tide's high, you're just losing. So you can go ahead and really drain your opponent if you have multiple creatures that are in your hand for Untamed. So potential, again, reverse hunting.
And then this is one of those cards, like, when you go out of house, if he lives, you just keep burning amber. So he's potentially very disruptive. All right, well, there is regular Chelonia, who is still 2 power, still elusive, and says, after you play another creature, if the tide is high, gain 1. So this is straight up hunting witch.
It's straight hunting witch for the...
As long as the tide is high.
Right.
And what's interesting is...
But it's elusive.
It is elusive. Hunting witch was not elusive.
No, hunting witch was just a little punt it right off the board.
Well, correct. I mean, still at 2 power, I'm punting this thing. I mean...
You say that, but every once in a while, you weren't able to kill a hunting witch, and this thing is now elusive. So, like, turn 1 Chelonias are real things, because on your turn 2, it's direct from hand, and even by turn 3, if I then am able to keep you at 1 creature on board, like, Chelonia is real hard to deal with sometimes.
That is true.
And I'm going to throw in both of these, the evil and here. These are your common cards, my friends.
Yeah, these are both good. Hunting witch was good, so this is good.
So Chelonia in, Amberfin Shark out. Let's talk about Mookling.
All right, 2 power, 0 armor, beast. After your opponent forges a key, give Mookling a +1 power counter for each amber spent to forge that key.
I revert to Dan.
I will go ahead and speak. Again, I said it earlier. When I see +1 power counters, I see very little effect.
I think we've already talked about this card too much.
Yes, we have.
That's where I am.
Let's go on to the good one, which is
the regular Mookling.
2 power, 0 armor beast. Your opponent's keys cost +X ember, where X is Mookling's power.
So we haven't talked about many other cards, but there are quite a few power boosting cards. What we were discussing kind of elsewhere is +1, like, so he's basically +2 on drop. The thing is if you use him or you make him give him +3 power counters, you're making keys +5, +6. One of the things we've talked about is very few scaling amber control cards in this set. So if you hold them off at 5 with +5 and they get to 9 or 10, and then they kill this thing and forge at 6, they already have their second key basically ready, because there isn't the scaling amber, there isn't the interdimensional graft. So this card may be best played as a 2 amber tax than a long-term keep
Solution.
the keys really expensive plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because the set doesn't capitalize on that, like...
You've gone way over this amount. Now I'm stealing a lot.
No TMTPs, no interdimensional graphs to really make effect of this guy.
Right.
So it's still good. Like, it's a good key cost thing. Keeps him off a key for a turn, and if you're racing, that might be all you need. So, the card is
He's probably much better late game than early game. Yeah, because then you can just pump and dump into him, and that might give you the little bit that you need. Especially late game where you need that Ember control, where now a +1 counter can become, the end to you winning or losing.
The +1 power in that case at the end actually has an impact. Taxation for keys 1 and 2 is great. Again, playing it small. This is a common card, so you're going to see multiple cards of this. I'm okay with it. It's not phenomenal, but I think that it has a place because, again, I don't mind having you pay more for your key. And if I can put it on the final, that may be the difference where I increase this key cost and just try and see, do I have taunt to protect it? Can I go ahead and keep it around longer? If it helps me win a game.
Not a lot of taunt in this set either.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about Old Patty.
Old Patty. You know about Old Patty. He is a 5 power, 0 armor, beast fisher. Reap, discard the bottom card of your opponent's deck, or the bottom 3 cards instead, if the tide is high. Destroy a creature that shares a house with one of the discarded cards.
This is... It's really weird to think about discarding the bottom of their deck, because it gets them to their shuffle faster. But if you discarded the good card...
This seems like it's going to be very hit or miss.
Weird. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, he's reap, gain, and then the potential to destroy a creature. So the only thing is it's not destroy enemy creatures. So if you share houses, he becomes maybe a little more dangerous.
Yep.
Right? Because he can kill your own. But all in all, I think this card is fine. Like, you reap, you throw away some of their cards that they don't get effect out of, and maybe kill some creatures. Like, this all seems fine to me.
Well, and I also think that with 3 cards, you have a higher probability of being able to pull one of their creatures that's there. Creature removal is important. So I like that aspect. I guess for me, the piece that's coming back is this is going to be set dependent and I need to play with it. But I'm thinking cards like Mimicry have a lot more value. That card was sitting in the bottom of the deck. You're not seeing it, but all of a sudden now I threw out one of those key cards you need. So I think what set we're playing against this Old Patty.
Well, I was going to say, it's recursion, right? Like, if they're playing a heavy recursion deck, you're Old Pattying cards they can recur faster, but they're also not getting that chance to draw them and play them without the shuffle.
I was going to say, there is no recursion because there's only a first-time play then.
Well,
so
but
you are sidestepping one whole play.
Well, sort of.
Sort of.
Right. If they're a regrowth-centric deck or a Stirring Grave deck or whatever, and their card they really wanted was on the bottom, you've given it to them early. But just as likely, it was a Stirring Grave you discarded off the bottom and they never get to archive, right? It's an equal chance of both. So it's a lot of weird thought, and that because you are moving cards off the bottom, you're going to have some times when you do it and it turns out bad for you. And there's going to be some times you do it where it turns out good. But, my brain only remembers the bad.
Right. That's why I said I think this card's going to be kind of hit and miss with whether it wins you games or loses you games. Maybe it doesn't do either ever. But let's go into the good Old Patty, which is a 5 power 0 armor beast fisher. Reap, discard the bottom card of your deck or the bottom 3 cards instead if the tide is high. Play each creature discarded that way one at a time.
Now this seems pretty hot. Right? Like, it's not put into play, it's play. So you get your play effects.
Right. It seems like it could be hot, or you could just hit all 3 of your stealth modes, which isn't in set. But, there's that.
This is, again, like, you're just getting to your shuffle faster, so it sort of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the non-evil version I am more in line with. I definitely don't see the evil version as being game winning or game warping by any chance. This I'm okay with if it shows up, but again, in that uncommon slot, I've got 2, maybe 3 of these at best. It's a way to be able to get to my cycle faster. That's about all I'm seeing. I'm okay with it.
Next up, we got Spore Gorger, who is a 4-power beast fungus, which the art is pretty awesome.
Is it? He
says he's a mushroom pig.
Yeah.
So he says, play, move each +1 power counter in play to Spore Gorger. So you can move all +1 power counters to him from both sides. Interesting. Reap, you may remove each +1 counter from Spore Gorger. For each counter removed in this way, deal 1 damage to each other creature. So could be
on the Reap. He's a possible board clear.
Yeah, yes. On a Reap, so a super slow board clear, pulls all the +1 power counters, which is like some weird, like 1 in every 10,000 games will matter. There is a card coming up that could make this cooler, but all in all, let's talk about a regular Spore Gorger.
All right, regular Spore Gorger, card 410, 4 power, 0 armor, beast fungus, Reap. Give Spore Gorger a +1 power counter. You may remove each +1 power counter from Spore Gorger. For each +1 power counter removed this way, deal 1 damage to each other creature.
Isn't that normal Spore Gorger?
No, this one gets to Reap, and he can add power counters and then remove them, so every turn he could Reap and do 1 to everything.
Oh.
Where the other Spore Gorger is take everything, which could be absolutely nothing, and then blow up. Basically. Neither of these are particularly good. They're both kind of slow. There are power counters in set, so they both could be potential board wipe kind of things, but not.
It seems like a lot to get a board wipe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyways,
Witch
of the Dawn.
This one's pretty good.
Well, then go ahead. Tell me about it.
All right. This is another witch. So, we're killing witches. Chelonias were a real witch. And Witch of the Dawn is 3-power witch. No armor. Play, destroy another friendly creature. If you do, play a different creature from your discard pile. Ready and use that creature. So, sacrifice some dumpster creature.
Sacrifice well, actually, hold on. You can sacrifice your Key Frog.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which then triggers its destroyed ability?
It is destroy. Oh, yeah, it is destroy. So, yes. So, anyways, you kill something of your own, and then you get to pick anything from your discard, play it. It is, and again, it says play, so it gets whatever its play effects are. Ready and use. So, that means you immediately get to use your effect. So, this card, and this is a play effect on the Witch of the Dawn, so you get to do this.
This one seems pretty good.
This card is pretty good until you mulligan into it being your only creature in hand, and then you kind of want to cry.
Yeah, I mean.
Sure. Okay, so the other piece that we got to keep in mind is that this is a common. So those will be our common evil twin. I think the piece, whenever we see ready and use, I'm very, very happy with it. The ability to choose in my discard pile, that recursion aspect, I really enjoy. So this is definitely up. And you're getting an immediate effect because it has the play effect. So this is definitely a win-win-win for me.
Yeah.
So regular Witch of the Dawn, 427, 3 power, 0 armor, human witch. Play, return a creature from your discard pile to your hand. Which is it's just regrowth, right?
Yeah,
it is just regrowth. Like
critter.
regrowth, it isn't a May, so every once in a while you got to put a card into your hand. You don't want to play this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for this. It's not the worst thing in the world, but boy, compared to its evil twin,
twin seems significantly stronger.
Yep.
This guy resurrecting a goat, well, that's his problem. He's rectorizing a goat and not a sheep.
So send all of your good Witch of the Dawn decks to Dr. Sheep, P.O. Box.
All right. Well,
or don't.
Let's go on to our next card, Youngest Bear. So 2 power, 0 armor. With a Reap effect, you may fight with one of Youngest Bear's neighbors.
Okay, so a 2-power creature, Reap, fight with a neighbor. So this is like what's his name?
He doesn't ready and fight them though. He's not as good as the Grey Knight.
Yeah, he's
Grey
like
Rider.
a crappy Grey Knight.
That's exactly what he is. He's a crappy Grey Knight.
Well, maybe
it lets you off
later
house
in
cheat.
life he will get his knighthood and become a Grey Knight.
Someday.
For now, he's
I think
exciting.
Yeah, I think with the power being so low, I think with it being a Reap effect, it's slow. I like that it's at least a May, so you're not forced into it. But again, I could care less for this.
He
evil.
might fly under the radar just because it's like, oh, number 1, it's a fight.
Well,
number 2,
we all know fighting sucks anyways.
right? So
let's talk about regular Youngest Bear, who should be in competition for cutest Keyforge card.
he really should, but maybe not the best. So he's a 2 power, 0 armor beast. On the Reap, you can Reap with one of the Youngest Bear's neighbors. So a little bit of house cheating for Untamed.
Yeah, reaping is way better
than fighting.
So this card is better. All in all, I think of the houses, this is maybe
Did Untamed
the best,
get the good split?
Maybe got the best evil twins, but they're still not. I mean, like, so what? Witch of the Dawn.
Well, we only really like, what, 2 of them?
Yeah, we like Witch of the Dawn. I mean, Amberfin, no. Chelonia,
fine.
Okay, fine.
Chelonia's fine.
Mookling, no. Old Patty, no. Well, Old Patty, I guess
is acceptable.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of acceptables.
So we have 2 we like,
really
2 acceptables?
2 acceptables.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, a deck with 3 Witch of the Dawns might be pretty good all on its own.
Well, yes. No, it might be. It is common, so.
But yeah, the rest of them are bad. So,
but it is an evil twin, too.
Well,
so
you know what? Since we're on such a high note of evil twins, let's bring it way down.
Let's go to Chenille. 1 power, 0 armor insect. Hazard is 6. Action. Return a Bombix from your discard pile.
Okay, so
to
this
your hand.
This card is part of a 3-card linked rarity.
Yep.
So you get the Chenille, or whatever it is, which is action return the Bombix. The Bombix has
2 power, 6 armor with an Ember Pip. Play destroy a friendly Chenille. If you do not destroy Bombix. Action. Return a Fifald. I think I said that right. Fifaldi from your discard pile to your hand.
So same kind of thing. Like it searches for its next card in the discard pile. I guess this is nice on the only thing that's nice about the Bombix is you play it for the Amber, then it kills itself. Right?
Sure, so you get the Amber and then...
Fifaldi is a 9 power, 0 armor with an Ember Pip every time you play it. Play destroy a friendly Bombix. If you do not destroy Fifaldi, fully heal Fifaldi, fight Reap, fully heal Fifaldi, and gain 1 Ember. These just seem like actions that are just going to end up in the discard pile. These, I don't know. They're not horrible because they have the Ember Pips, but there's no other use to these. And 1 Infernus means that your little rotation these are never going to see play.
No. You're just okay. So best case scenario, right? Well, I suppose you could Witch of the Dawn this. You turn 1, you play Chenille or whatever, and then turn 2, you play Untamed again. So you can.
So I go to find my Bombix.
No, I suppose if you have all 3 in your hand, you play the 1. Then you play the Bombix and play the Fifaldi. So I guess you could play them all in 1 turn.
Out of 3 cards, I'm gaining 2 Ember.
And ending up with a 9 power.
But the more opportunistic or the more realistic approach is, I'm going to end up playing 3 cards and just gaining 2 Ember. Which I know there's like some ridiculous stat out there that just says if every card in a deck was nothing but blank but had an Ember Pip on it, like your win rate was something like 60 some odd %.
I don't think that's true anymore.
It might not. This is going back to AOA, I think. But like otherwise, these cards are useless because the chances of Chenille, Bombix, and Fafaldi all being out at the same time for you to kill the Chenille, to put out the Bombix, to kill the Bombix, to put out the Fiffled.
It's fiddly. So what we're looking at is it's fiddly in order to have all three. It's not likely statistically. They're taking up 3 spots out of your 12 in the linked rarity. While it has the Amber, frankly, it's problematic. I would have much rather seen the action on both Chenille and Bombix to be play effects also of grab the next one. That way they at least stand a chance at being able to fire. But in this case, the action is not there. It's not strong enough. It's too slow. And while they gave some big power of 2 and 6 for the Bombix and 9 for the Fafaldi, nobody cares. Or I should say, I don't care.
No,
so that's just
you're
where
right.
I am.
You're right to say that. Nobody cares because we all know that power number over there is just kind of...
So there is quite a lot of bounce in this set. So you play your Chenille, then you play your Bombix, you get your Amber, and then I bounce it. And then when you play your Bombix the next time, you just have to, you get your Amber, but throw it away. And then you're, I mean, like, these cards make me sad.
Yeah.
Even at the end, a 9-power creature that reaps for 2.
Is that worth it?
Doesn't do a lot for me. Well, I mean, sure, if I could just have 9-power creatures that reap for 2, I would go for it. But as a 3-card combo,
right?
Like this Butterfree,
it doesn't do any. Like, I mean, it heals and reaps for 2. Didn't we have creatures in Coda that reaped for 2 in Untamed? I mean, they were significantly more fragile, but...
So the best case scenario is if you built up this chain. We look at, for board games, I look at chain, building the system that's there. It's a lot harder with Keyforge and kind of the 3 cards, and you're going to need some definite support for this. I don't think the payout is there.
We're still talking about these cards.
Because
I agree.
The only thing I want to say about this is you have fully heal. So because of the fight effect, you have to survive the fight. So then you do get to stay there.
But he does it on a reap. So why would I fight and gain 1 and not reap and gain 2?
Because I can go ahead and take out a key creature potentially. That's the best. I mean, I'm trying to make an argument here. It's very, very weak. I'm sad when I see this, but I'm happy they're rare. Yep.
So now you guys can all write to us later on how Fafaldi is great and has won all the games.
I'm sure there's going to be like 2 decks or, a handful of decks out there where it's good, but not going to happen. But let's go to some reprints real quick. Blossom Drake, Chonkers, Creed of Nature, Eldest Bear, holy moly, Fertility Chant, Fuzzy Gruen, and Lupo all making reappearances in Dark Tidings. What do we got going on with the Dredge Druid, JR?
Dredging Druid, 2 power, 0 armor, human witch with elusive. It has a reap effect for tide. If the tide is high, put up to 3 creatures from your discard pile on top of your deck. And that's in the rare slot.
Mm-hmm. I would almost say this is almost good if Old Patty took it from the top of your deck.
So reap
because Old Patty takes the bottom. She allows you to put 3 creatures from your discard pile on top of your deck.
Okay, well, it is a May effect, or an up to, so you don't have to do anything. I don't know. I mean, like, this is okay. Like, this would be so much better if, well, it all depends on how good your play effect creatures are in this. I mean, like, if you got a Shadows deck with a whole bunch of Steel guys, this is fine.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm an evil twin Untamed Shadows deck. This is working in my mind. All right, I got to go make a search. I'll be right back.
The mouse is running. Well, Dan,
so I think what we just talked about, you have the ability to potentially cycle the set that's there.
Right.
That may be your best option, but 2 power human witch. I don't know. I like recursion. We'll have to see, but 2 power and reap. I can control the tide, but I'm at a rare slot. I'm not going out of my way to search for it. Like Dan is.
2 Ember a turn still is not doing it for me. But let's go into Pester Grove. It is an artifact location, 1 pip of Ember every time you play it. Each creature enters play Enraged.
That is for both you and your opponent there.
Yes, it is.
Why isn't this a Brobnar card?
Because Brobnar's not in set.
Why?
They forgot about it. Yeah. And you know you're going to have people who are going to play it because of the printed amber that's on it, but I don't know.
Boy. I don't think I like that at all.
I mean, it is a pester card. I mean, it is called Pester Grove. But, I mean, it is a card you'll have to play around.
Is it there that's for all of our Star Alliance that we've seen where you have play, fight, reap? So you get your play, but now all of a sudden you're not just coming and reaping. Even Coda with Coda's Untamed, where we want to go ahead and reap for some effect. Is that what we're looking at? I mean, I'm seeing some heavy printed amber here with Fuzzy Gruen, with Piranha Monkeys. You have a lot of things that are
There's
just
no
straight
good
up
key
play
in this house.
No, I can't.
You still have Keyfrog.
Yeah, but Keyfrog is not necessarily a good key cheat.
He is a key cheat.
This is I dislike Pestering Grove.
And there's Piranha Monkeys. So
it is really interesting having Fuzzy Gruen and Fertility Chant in set in sealed play where there is no Dis and there is no Infernus.
Right, so they're playable again in sealed. But, I mean, anything outside of that, I don't think you play anything with a Fuzzy Gruen and a Fertility Chant.
I think at the right time, again, you're going to have to pick your battle. If you're going to go ahead and spam out that amber and you can get to that last piece, and they, depending on where it is, just because we see high printed amber doesn't mean that you can't play it anymore. Fertility Chant is a bigger risk because you're giving your opponent 2 amber with it. Less so with Fuzzy in that you're giving 1. But again, there's going to be times, even when you're facing Dis, that they're not going to have Infernus, or when you're facing Dis and you just have to go with it. You play the cards that are in your deck.
I get that, but at the same time, I don't know if competitive play, I'd bring a deck to a Vault Tour that has every set available open to it and bring Fuzzy Gruen and Fertility Chant. I don't know if I could do that.
I don't know if I do that if that was my win con and doesn't include Key Charge Chota.
Right. Key Charge Chota or something.
Fair enough. Yep.
Okay, so then we have
pretty much just there, I'm guessing, just to irritate. Somebody will play it. There will be a deck around it.
It's a rare, so we can quit thinking about it.
Alrighty. So some more. Let's go through real quick all the other reprints. Piranha Monkey is making a comeback. A good reprint, I believe. Yeah, Perpetuated Equilibrium, good reprint. Stampede and Word of Returning also making a comeback. Dan, you want to tell me about
those are all strong cards.
Yeah, they are.
Well, except Stampede. That's hot trash. Stampede trash.
All
okay,
right.
So we got a Primal Relic. It's an artifact. It's got an Amber Pip on it. It's a treasure. And it says, play, put 4 Amber on Primal Relic from the common supply. Give 3 creatures a +1 power counter. Woohoo! At the start of each player's turn, if they control creatures with 20 or more power, move each Amber from Primal Relic to that player's pool. So this is another one, like this is this house's treasure chest thing.
Right.
This one is reasonably controllable because it's at the start of each player's turn, so they have their turn, and then you can take them off 20 power in theory.
Mm-hmm.
This is another card that is moderately easy to calculate how likely they are. Like if they're playing Saurian, you throw this card right in the junk. If they're playing, Logos, Shadows, Discoda, you might get away with it. Because this set has a lot of really big creatures in it.
Right. Overall,
so I think this one is definitely playable.
Yeah.
This one seems okay. It's better, for a big creature power thing. If you got an Unfathomable deck, you're likely to fire this for yourself.
I'm pretty meh on it. I'm not excited nor unexcited. I'm not throwing it in the trash.
It's playable. We'll see. It's situational.
It will get forgotten.
Yep.
People will have 20 power and not be able to count.
Let's go into Ritual of Life, Jer.
All right. Ritual of Life is an artifact rare with the ability Power. Action. Destroy a friendly creature. If you do, return a different creature from your discard pile to your hand.
You know,
this is okay.
I'm liking the direction we're going with Untamed here. Untamed is kind of becoming, and for lack of better words, I know Sheep's going to come like shoot me in my sleep or something. We're becoming the black part of the color wheel for Untamed, where we're using.
They're definitely the recursion house, right?
Yeah,
right. We're sacrificing things to bring back other things back, right?
So you see now, Dis has already been doing that. Now,
Dis
I'm
just
surprised.
bring things back.
This is another card that they wrote for Dis and then stuck in Untamed when they needed cards. But I like it. I am perfectly okay with it. You know, great if you have a deck with destroyed effects and then you can bring back Untamed creatures that do things, which there haven't been a lot of play effects.
Alrighty, let's move into the Miss. Oh boy. Anybody want to try to take this one?
Mysticida.
Mysticity?
I was going to go Mysticeti.
Yeah.
I was going to go Mysticeti.
All right.
Anyway.
It's a beast and a ship. You know, this is a
ship. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It is a whale.
It is a beast.
Sail.
However,
it's a whale sail.
So, wait. Never mind. I'll ask the question here in a minute. It has an action. Exhaust one or more friendly Untamed creatures. If you do, give them a steady 3+1 power counters for each creature exhausted this way, and move it anywhere into your battle line as a creature with 0 power and taunt.
Ah.
This seems slow, but it does have taunt.
Sure. So I played a bunch of creatures, then I come back down Untamed, and instead of reaping for 3 amber, I get a 9 power taunt.
Yeah.
Slow. So slow.
I said it was slow.
This card.
I said it was slow. However, I think as an artifact, this can be killed by Beast's Bane.
I think we should wash this away with Washed Away.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, next card, Washed Away, rare action, 1 amber, play if the tide is high, destroy each artifact. Otherwise, raise the tide. Yeah, so I think we wash that boat away.
Hey, that's good for Pester Grove, too. We can wash both of them away.
Yeah. If the tide is high, destroy each artifact. Otherwise, raise it. So
send all your Pester Grove decks to _the WOOKIE.
So saying. Yes. And it can go with his pile of NARPs.
Yep. It can go right next to my NARPs and my bone sauce.
I'm happy that both of the Mysticeti is a rare for this. I like the fact that it's going to go ahead and raise the tide. It is artifact destruction. It's not purge, so it still has for some recursion issues. But
on it, this is a bad card.
It's okay.
Alrighty, moving right along. Let's go through the next set of reprints. World Tree making a comeback. Bumblebird, everyone's favorite Bumblebird.
Well, let's hold on right there, because with World Tree, that actually finishes your rare slot. And I think that's an important piece to separate out. We do have some nice returning cards. There's some... I'm not really super impressed with what's new that's coming. So I'm okay not getting rares, to be honest. So let's move on to some uncommons.
All right. So anyways, Bumblebird is making a return. One of my favorite cards, and actually this is a legit factor, one of my favorite cards, Fangtooth Cavern making a comeback, and Gebek also being cited. With that being said, Sheep, you want to go through Ambermancy?
Of course I do. This is the first uncommon action we have here. Amber Pip on it. It says play, remove up to 3 power counters from a creature, gain 1 for each counter removed this way. So as a card, giving up my trashy power counters for space dollars is something I'm super into. There are a lot of power counters, but is there enough? But I guess this also lets you target your enemy's power counters.
Remove up to 3 power counters from a creature or from a creature, so I can't take them from multiple.
No, but you can target your opponents. You can target yours.
Yeah, I mean, this seems okay.
It seems okay. There's just going to be some times when you play it for an amber and you're a little sad.
Yeah, I mean, but more times than not, overall, what are you playing this on
but
average?
When you're talking about, well, most of these cards put 3 counters. A lot of these things put 3 counters out.
So, but, I mean, on average, we'll say, 2.5 you're
playing
getting
this
out
thing
of it.
for 4 is really good and kind of laughs at the Infernus meta because it's
sure
game
does.
4, only lose 1.
All right. JR, we're going on a trip to the beach. It's beach day.
Beach day, 1 printed amber. This is an action uncommon with a play effect. Return a creature to its owner's hand. If the tide is high, gain 1 amber too.
It's a single card bounce.
Yep.
On either player. Like that's good, right?
And if the tide's high, you gain amber. 1.
Yeah, that's
good. But I mean, so with some of the play effect creatures there, you could potentially go ahead and gain multiple amber for yourself. You're also, because you can control the tide being high, you can also have big amber burst right here.
If you got your Chelonia out, right, then you gain 3 amber off this because you bounce one of your own creatures.
Right.
I mean, even picturing here with Fuzzy, I play Fuzzy for 2. I'm going ahead and playing this here for Beach Day for 3. I gain, if the tide is high, I gain 1 for 4. And then I get to play it again for 5 and 6. And my opponent just got 2 off of it.
2 card combo for 6 amber?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like for me, I think it has flexibility in that it can be an opponent's creature. All right. You have that big dino that's a real pain in my side with lots of amber. Done. Bounce. Here, I can bounce my own. I like this in the uncommon slot.
And then you find a way to punt your key frog and win.
So our professional players, though, I'll just note, Beach Day is right next to Bumblebirds, so you can recycle your Bumblebirds. Have them ready for next turn.
Thank
really
you.
Get them power counters.
With that going onward, cross
porpoises.
Porpoises. I was going to say porpoises, but I thought that was wrong.
Or pies.
Porpies, right?
Oh, goodness.
All right. Yep. Cross porpoises, Pip of Ember every time you play it. Raise the tide and rage 2 enemy creatures.
Raise the tide good. Amber Pip good. Enrage 2 enemy creatures. Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. All right. JR, why don't you take Genetic Drift?
All right. Genetic Drift with a printed amber. Action uncommon. Play. Give a creature a +1 power counter. Then give each creature with a +1 power counter another +1 counter.
One.
Another +1 power counter.
I wish I had that drop set up. Another one. Dan, I know you love your +1 power counters.
Wow. Yeah, bad card.
Dan loves +1 power counters.
Reprint, Growth Surge, probably better than Genetic Drift.
Yeah.
Reprint, Instrument of Silence, Kangafant, Mushroom Man. Man, they got the mushrooms in the set. We got Mushroom Pigs and Mushroom Mans. Why isn't Mushroom Man riding a Mushroom Pig?
Because that would be too much metal for you, Dan. There's
also the reprint of the Ritual of Balance. Mm-hmm. And then we're ready for our next card called...
Which is Thin the Herd?
Thin the Herd.
So, Thin the Herd, 1 Pip of Ember. Every time you play it, shuffle the 4 least powerful creatures into its owner's deck.
So we've seen a lot of 2-power creatures, but there are so many plus power counters that it's quite possible that your Untamed guys can be bigger. But this set in sealed play, you're playing against Saurians and Unfathomable, who are both fathead creatures.
It's situational. Yeah,
it can be very good, but it could be 4 of your own creatures, right?
Yep.
So it could just be a discard.
And there may be some reason to return some of those creatures. I'm not seeing a ton because I don't want Bumblebird returned. Maybe. I don't know. For me, I'm not seeing that as a huge play, but I got to get out into real world and see what.
Oh, no, sir. You're getting your Bumblebird back.
Yeah.
This card is great.
I know you love your Bumblebird.
Where you just shuffle 4 of their creatures back into their deck.
Sure.
That can be very strong. I mean, it is basically bounce, so it gets all captured amber back, gets around lots of stuff. This card I think can be good and can also often be a discard, but the amount of times it's going to be quite powerful, I think balances it. It's okay.
Alrighty, we're getting into the meaty portion. Not a ton of reprints in here, but we have the Deepwater Druid, 5 power, 0 armor, 2 pips of Ember every time you play him. He is a beast. If the tide is low, your opponent gains 1. So he's a better Fuzzy Gruin?
Dude, you skipped down a row.
Did I miss a row? I did completely miss a row.
That's fine. So Deepwater Gruin, who is, play/reap. If the tide is low, your opponent gains 1, so you don't play it when it's low. Yeah, so this is just improved Gruin for the most part.
He is a more powerful Dust Pixie. My apologies. We missed Waste Not because I was actually also looking for the card called Want Not to see if that was like a linked rarity of some sort because it is called Waste Not. But Pip of Ember, every time you play it, destroy a friendly creature. Draw cards equal to half of its power rounded up.
So this is the card that makes all these power counters, makes Borgorger, who can steal all the power counters.
Yep.
Makes your Mushroom Man pretty cool. Like this card here is going to fire for some really big draw in this set. And it's destroy a friendly creature, so it's not even Untamed only, so if
all I can think about is we're looking for Waste Not, and then that Legacy Maverick Key Abduction. Right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, sure. As rare as it may be, it's possible.
This is what makes the 50 power creature in Unfathomable good.
What is it? The Kraken, right?
Whatever it is.
Whatever his name is. Okay.
But this card here can draw absolutely ridiculous amounts of cards.
And like past FFG, they put an Amber Pip on it. So way to go. I absolutely love this. This in the uncommon slot, if you get 3 of them, and we have some ways to go out and make this, even 2 of them, and you have some ways to increase with some big power counters. I like the ability. Here's my play. Here's my increase, and I'm drawing for the next.
Let me just draw my entire deck.
Power guy for 3 draws, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's move into All Tied Up. Pip of Ember. Every time you play it, play. If the tide is high, gain 1 Ember. Otherwise, raise the tide. Dan likes. Dan approves.
This Untamed has burst, right? There are a lot of cards that can make.
It absolutely has burst. Yeah.
And you're now in the common slot. So when we're looking here, again, we know that the raised tide effects, they're going to be helpful. And here, gaining Amber with it, yes, please, in the common slot.
Let's keep moving into Assert Dominance. Play. For the remainder of the turn, a friendly creature gains Skirmish. Ready and fight with that creature.
I'll take this one. For me, I just don't really care. Okay, you're gaining the Skirmish. You can go ahead. You gain the Ready and Fight with that creature.
Yeah.
So that's at least beneficial, and it's Skirmish, so you're not taking the damage.
This is a kill spell, is all this is.
Correct, but you got to have something out.
Better version of all the mutations that they put out in Mass Mutation. At least this readies and fights. Like, Anger is ready and fight with a creature, and that card is okay. This also gives it Skirmish, so I think it doesn't have the Amber Pip of Anger.
It doesn't have the Ember Pip, but, obviously you reap, Assert Dominance, ready, fight.
Yeah.
Kill and something on other side of board.
It's ready and reap.
Right. Or
I think this card is fine.
It's fine.
Okay. Flume reprint, Keyfrog reprint.
You forgot Infighting.
Whatever. Persistent Hunting, reprint.
All right, so Infighting.
Reprint. And now you can go to Infighting.
Infighting. Each creature deals damage equal to its power to its right neighbor.
You want to talk about a goofy ass card to deal with.
Yeah.
Think about.
Each creature deals damage equal to its power to its right neighbor. Huh.
Only the creature on your left flank is safe.
Right.
So this is some sort of situational board wipey kind of card. It's interesting, but like most people I've talked to were like, we'd much rather have natural selection.
Just Savage
Clash,
actual board wipe.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, like, good players can set their creatures up to protect against this.
Yeah, it offers some aspect to kill that key frog that's sitting right next to it. So again, I like a chance to be able to kill a key frog when I can control it.
Jared likes
it's
jank.
there.
That's what
I do. I do, but I think that it's going to cause issues for players to be able to see this and to be able to calculate. It's going to slow the game down a bit.
Sure. Let's move into Molly Mock. 5 power beast creature, 0 armor. Play, destroy an artifact.
Common artifact control.
A critter that destroys an artifact on the play. I'll take 2, please.
Yeah, I mean, like, not May, though. So, again, destroys your own artifacts, potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. Yeah, it seems good. So, Myliobe.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
4 power creature. He says, while the tide is high, he has skirmish. And before a fight, enrage the creature. Myliobe fights and each of that creature's neighbors. So, you raise the tide.
So he's kind of a stun. So it's using enraged, but stunning them. It's bad stun. What am I thinking of? Tremor. It's kind of like Tremor, but instead of stun, it's enrage.
It's enrage, so it's not Tremor at all.
So it's not nearly as good. Well, no, because all enrage is basically a stun, right?
Okay.
That lasts while you fight.
Straight up common slot. So he replaces the 4 power skirmisher from Coda.
Yeah.
Whoever's eating the Gruins in the picture. My brain is dead. But has a before fight that enrages, which gives some control, so it's better than that card, but that card isn't very good. So let's talk about something else.
Okay. How about Reap or Sow? Here's our choice card.
Yep.
Play, choose one. Ready and Reap with a friendly creature? How is this even a choice card? All right, so Ready and Reap with a creature, or give 3+1 power creatures distributed as you choose.
Well, that's with your other card. Plus
who doesn't choose the Ready and Reap?
Is to draw, right? With Want Not, Waste Not.
Who does not choose the Ready and Reap in this scenario?
I don't know. Somebody who really wants a big creature. Way of the Pixie. It is an upgrade. There's not really been many upgrades. It does not have an Amber Pip on it, so it's already a bad upgrade. This creature gains Reap, gain 1. So it's turn anything into
Pixie.
Isn't that Dust? Is that Dust Pixie or is that Dust?
No, Dust Pixie came with 2.
Dust Pixie came with 2. You have a fairy.
Yeah, so this is Way of the Fairy. Good job, FFG.
Except it's Way of the Pixie.
Fairy. Yeah,
do Fairy.
Okay.
Head. That's it.
Yeah, I don't like that card.
Way of the Pixie?
Yeah.
That has a definite possibility to do some things, stuff and things.
Yeah, gain an extra amber by taking up a slot in my deck on a card that doesn't do enough.
But then I can reap. I can reap what I sow. I can reap or sow.
More likely, like all upgrades, you play it on a creature who is exhausted. You don't reap with it, then they kill that creature, and that card did nothing.
Yeah,
except chain you 1.
It's okay.
Awesome.
It's okay.
Okay, send all your Way of the Pixies to Pixie Master WOOKIE.
Yes.
And he's going to put it on his NARPs, so his NARPs can't reap.
That's right. They can't reap and gain 2.
Because he has 3 NARPs all next to each other.
Were you talking about Snufflegater earlier?
Snufflegater. It was Snufflegater.
Yes. Sorry, it took me a bit. I was thinking.
No, I will take all the Pestering Grove decks.
Ugh. Pester Grove.
That can go with your Way of the Pixie, so your creatures come in enraged and can't reap and use their Way of the Pixie. Yeah, your deck's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. You're going to love it.
So, all right, come to Archon's Corner to get all the bad deck advice.
That's right. Absolutely.
So I like that Untamed has recursion. I like some potential for Amber Burst. I don't know. We see a little bit of.
I think there are going to be some bad, and by bad I mean good. There are going to be some bad Evil Witch of the Dawn decks.
So here, infighting is kind of cool with Key Frog, like you're saying.
Right.
But I was just kind of looking around for other ways, common cards like Assert Dominance doesn't let you kill your Key Frog because it gives him Skirmish. So that
no,
sucks.
You can't kill him with Assert Dominance, but I mean,
that sucks.
Then you can assert your dominance with your Deepwater Gruin to throw him into something, kill something, and then recur him with your Witch of the Dawn.
Frog and get rid of all this amber I made before you take it from me.
So I'm looking at dealing damage. You have infighting, you have Waste Not, which I don't really want to use there unless I'm going ahead and turning up a whole bunch of
now into uncommon. Like I'm talking about.
I know.
Common.
Yeah, just straight up commons. You don't have a direct. It's going to be very tricky in order to go ahead and kill it.
Hey, real quick question for you guys, and I didn't see it, and maybe I just missed past it, and it's definitely possible. Each set has had one of the enhanced cards from Mass Mutation. Am I just missing the one from Untamed?
You are correct. There
is no enhanced card in Untamed for Dark Tidings.
Because they did not reprint. A lot of people expected Wild Bounty. That's what Z was thinking. Didn't get reprinted. The crappy Dust Pixie didn't get reprinted.
So they just actually didn't give it enhanced too.
Gloriana's a tenant. No, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I'm not either. So, oh well, they didn't get one. I mean, Unfathomable didn't get a leader. They're not keeping everything equal like they normally did in past sets, which, I mean, may not be the worst thing.
New designer, and he's not following the rules.
Follow the rules, Aaron!
Aaron, make your own rules.
Yeah.
This is your game now.
This is your... Oh, sorry, there was a quote there, but...
You show Brad that Logos isn't the end-all, be-all. Give us something else to play with.
Yeah, can we make... I'm going to start making hats that says, make shadows great again.
Ugh.
So when we're looking here, Waste Not in the uncommon, Thin the Herd, Kangafats, like you have some options, but Fang Tooth is out there. No, none of these are guaranteed. But I'm saying Piranha Monkeys. But like looking, there are some options, but you're gonna have to be a little bit creative here, my friends.
Piranha Monkeys is probably your easiest way.
But Piranha's all okay.
He just kills
rare,
it.
Right?
He's in the rare slot. So that's why I'm like, I don't think you're going to see him.
I don't. Well, it depends, I guess, because I have a lot of Coda decks with Piranha Monkeys in them. They were like the most common rare you could find. I have absolute bunches and bunches of Piranha Monkeys, but I guess like you said, it's just we're gonna have to wait and see. So I'm happy Fangtooth Cavern is back. That is like one of my favorite artifacts. And I think I've chosen my bad card for this set that I'm going to love and adore and love for always, and that would be Pestergrove. Weird it's not a creature, but that's okay.
How come you don't have the discard? Why don't you have a deck with like triple discard that just enrages one creature? That's real bad.
Anyway, I think that this is Untamed. I'm excited to be able to actually see some of these Dark Tidings decks.
Yeah, me and Sheep are going to Canada this weekend.
We're crossing the border.
Yep. You ready? Got your passport, Sheep?
I do have my passport.
All right, let's go. It's what? I mean, it takes 4 hours to get to the border.
They won't let us into Canada.
Yeah. Right now, there's a restriction on
that. Oh, that's right. COVID, that whole thing. But okay.
Yeah, you're a plague monkey. You're definitely.
I'm a plague monkey, so... Anyways, let's get ready to wrap it up. This has been kind of an interesting episode. So, Sheep, what you got?
Keep playing Keyforge.
About to blast off worldwide. About to blast off worldwide.
You do it like this.
About to blast off worldwide.